Hello, everybody. Shooty here. I put out a teaser for my Modern Warfare 3 review a little while ago, and uh, I guess this is take two. Yeah, I guess this is take two. I've come to the conclusion though that this Modern Warfare 3 review is not going to be nearly as magnificent as the other ones were. The other ones weren't magnificent. They just had more editing in them than I normally would put into one of these videos. Um, but this is definitely going to be more closer to the bare bones version, despite the whole teaser thing. Um, Recapping, I did not purchase this game. I didn't even really want to play this game, but a friend of mine, he wanted me to play Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer with him, and he doesn't have anybody else to play it with. So I'm more than happy to play Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer with him to uh, basically give him somebody to play the game with. I wouldn't want to. I don't like the idea that I would just give him, uh, you know, especially since he spent money on it for me. I'm gonna definitely give him his money's worth out of it. So with that out of the way, obviously I was gonna try the campaign at least since I had it available to me now. And so where do I even go in with this? It's obviously terrible. The entire internet. This is the hard thing for me, I guess, about talking about this campaign is that the entire internet has already beat this horse to death for the most part. Um, there isn't a ton I can say that isn't going to already have been said about the campaign beyond the stuff where the story is way too short. It retreads what Modern Warfare 2 2022 did, and it also simultaneously is trying to be Modern Warfare 3. So, and I'm talking about the original Modern Warfare 3. Um, Ironically, my first version of this review, I ended up talking more about my thoughts on the original Modern Warfare 3 and less talking about the new one. Which I guess in some ways is kind of important to set up my to set that up, and I guess I'll kind of retread ground that I uh got to with the other review, but I don't want to go nearly as depth as I did as the first take because the first take I literally spent 40 minutes talking about the first game, and that's not a good thing when you're talking more about the first game than you are about the reboot version. So it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for the new one. Just a summed up version of my thoughts on the original Modern Warfare 3 is that it's definitely the weakest of the trilogy story wise. I feel like it adds a couple of little plot holes and inconsistencies into the story. Um, Particularly, it kind of muddies up Makarov's like, or I guess it doesn't really muddy up his motive. It just adds like a couple of like weird little like plot hole things. Like Yuri, Makarov brought Yuri to the airport massacre, and betrayed him just before they went to the massacre. I'm assuming that that means that Yuri knew about Alan, maybe, or maybe he didn't know about Alan being a mole. At the same time, it also means that Makarov decided he was going to betray not one but two different people on the same day, and that's just really, really like dumb. It's kind of cartoonishly stupid. Um, that the inclusion of Yuri being at the airport is just kind of cartoonishly stupid. Um, the other stuff was neat, like the fact that Makarov was there when Price shot Zakayev's arm off, and the part where Makarov, uh, actually no, this was stupid too. Makarov being present when they detonated the nuke in uh Call of Duty 4. That part was that was also cartoonishly stupid. There was no reason for Makarov to be there personally. It doesn't actually add anything to the story. We already knew that Zakayev and his people were supplying al-Assad with nuclear weapons, so there wasn't really anything new revealed there. They just, again, it's cartoonishly stupid. Um, in fact, Makarov doesn't even detonate the nuke. He calls somebody and tells them to detonate it. So it's even that much more dumb. Um, it's just kind of like that kind of stuff there was just kind of cartoonishly stupid to me. I keep saying that. I apologize. I'll try to find another way to describe it. Um, and beyond that, though, the stuff I did like from Modern Warfare 3's campaign is uh, spoiler warning if you didn't play the original Modern Warfare 3. I doubt anybody watching this cares, though. Um, Soap dies in the original Modern Warfare 3, just like he does in the new Modern Warfare 3, spoiler warning. Except his death in the original Modern Warfare 3 was way better. It's treated with a lot more. Uh, it's just got a better build up to it. In the new one, there's no real build up to it other than uh, literally at the last minute, Soap is fighting Makarov off, and Makarov gets the upper hand in the hand-to-hand combat, which was stupid for a couple of reasons. I'll get into that in a minute when I talk about the actual story. But the original Modern Warfare 3 Soap death was treated with this more reverence, like because Soap already nearly died at the beginning of the camp, at the end of Modern Warfare 2, and he basically just recovered from Modern Warfare 3, and then suddenly out of the blue he gets injured again, and you're too late to save him. And it's like, even as a kid, that was like one of the most heartbreaking moments for me in video game history, was watching Soap die, because it's like I basically kind of literally grew up like playing the Modern Warfare 3 trilogy in a way, and seeing that character that you've been with for so long die was like one of the most heartbreaking video game moments for me of all time. Um, so uh, it's just a better. His death is treated with more reverence and stuff like that. Um, and then also I like how you kill Makarov at the end of the original Modern Warfare 3. The whole part, it's cartoonishly stupid. There I go again, reusing the same thing over again. It is ridiculous. The the build the lead up to it, where Yuri and Price are using Juggernaut suits and all that, and I feel like they did that whole thing because they wanted to get the campaign done and over with. And instead of doing another slow-paced infiltration mission with Captain Price, they just wanted to go fucking balls to the walls. And in some ways, I respect that about it. Uh, in other ways, I'm like, it would have been cooler, if you did something a little less over the top, but whatever. Um, but the part where you wrap the helicopter winch around Makarov's neck and hang him, really cool. Love it. Um, it it that felt like the bookend that trilogy deserved. Um, in some ways, you can almost. I know this is gonna sound weird to some people, but the original Modern Warfare trilogy is a lot like the original Star Wars trilogy. It has, in fact, it's got an extremely similar story pacing to it. The original Star Wars it's like it was designed to be just a self-contained film and all that, because they didn't know if they were going to make another one. So basically George Lucas put the entire first Star Wars trilogy in uh the original trilogy. He put the entirety of the original trilogy in the first movie because he didn't know if he was actually going to be able to make all three films. So he did that, and it's sort of similar with like COD 4. It was just designed to be a self-contained story. There wasn't meant. I don't think they ever intended to do this whole like story where it keeps going and going, but they did. And so when Star Wars Episode 5, Revenge of the Sith, or Re- Revenge of the Empire, Empire Strikes Back. That's the one. And when Empire Strikes Back comes along, which is generally everybody considers that to be the best Star Wars film, comes along, it's the darkest Star Wars film. It doesn't end on a happy note. It ends on a where do we go from here? Because the bad guys have basically won. The Empire destroyed the Hoth base. Luke got his fucking hand cut off. Where do you go from here? Um, Modern Warfare 2 is the same thing. The original Modern Warfare 2 is like widely considered to be one of the better Call of Duty games. And the story, it ends off on this like dark note, this dark gritty note. Where do we go from here? The bad guys won. Shepard, despite the fact that you kill him, his lie that Task Force 141 was responsible for the war and all that stuff, that got out there. The the uh, Makarov got away. The U.S. is in shambles. It ends off on a where do we go from here cliffhanger. And then Return of the Jedi. I got the title right this time. In the Return of the Jedi, which is considered not to be, which is considered to be the weakest of the trilogy. Um, it at least puts a neat little bow tie on everything in the end. And same thing with, again, Modern Warfare 3. It the weak In my opinion anyway, in my personal opinion, it's the weakest of the trilogy, but it has a nice little uh, bow tie to tie everything off in the end and basically end the trilogy where it needed to go. With that all out of the way, I've definitely talked about the original trilogy way more than I've talked about the new Modern Warfare 3 game. Uh, where do I? What does the new Modern Warfare 3 game present? And um, so I guess the new Modern Warfare 3 game, in a way, it is the new it is the new dark middle point for the Modern Warfare franchise the new reboot franchise. This is its new dark endpoint of where do we go from here. And that's mainly because Modern Warfare 2 2022 doesn't actually have that. In fact, it more closely has a neater bookend to the game itself uh than actually building up like an actual like you know oh the the threads the threads of the story, they're being left off here. So uh what do I mean by that is in the new Modern Warfare reboot, uh the story ends with Makarov escaping, like as if he escapes. Soap is dead. uh, Again, another one of those where do we go from here sort of situations. So the new Modern Warfare 3 is basically the new low point in the story in terms of basically the heroes being defeated. Uh, so in that regard, it's not necessarily a bad story thing per se. The stuff that makes it bad is kind of like how rushed it was. And it for one, it was very clear that they were going to treat this more like a DLC and less like a full game. That was kind of the rumors at the very beginning, was they were not going to release a new multiplayer for another year, but instead continue supporting Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, but then also add in a story DLC. Which, if they would have stuck more to that, people would have been less upset about what Modern Warfare 3 is. But the fact of the matter is they eventually tried to say that Modern Warfare 3 was going to be a brand new game, and what we got instead, when basically what everybody is saying is we got a overpriced DLC, and it's 100% true. Um, on this is the first Call of Duty where every gun from the previous multiplayer carries over into the new multiplayer, and it's not just the guns; it's also the operators and your skins, all of your progression uh as far as like weapon progression, not your level, which it makes sense. Like at first I was confused by this, but it makes more sense when you consider that basically when you start the new Modern Warfare 3, you want to make sure everybody's on the same level, and you don't want people running around with like basically already at the max level with all of the perks unlocked and stuff simultaneously with people who are just getting the game. So in that regard, it makes some sense. You want people to have to level up and unlock the new perks and stuff like that, or the perks, because they don't use the same perk system as they did before. They use something different now. Um, and I'm talking more about the multiplayer than the actual campaign because there's not much to talk about in the campaign. Let's get. Okay. I'm gonna circle back to the campaign. Basically, though, multiplayer, it's basically they carried over everything from the previous game into this new game, and then story-wise, they added in a campaign that can literally be beat in 4 hours. Uh, and it's not a it's just not good. How else can I say it? The missions mainly are revolve around these wide open missions where they built it. It's basically Call of Duty Far Cry, and it's not good. The the maps are like they basically ripped areas from the original Warzone map for Dansk, and then they called them level. They basically shoved them full of NPCs, and boom, you have a level. And the problem with that is, and Bricky kind of said it best, is that you're now lacking those cinematic moments that Call of Duty's kind of known for, and it does make the game extremely dull. As much as I hate the fact that Call of Duty has slowly but surely turned into a franchise where it constantly stops the player to show them an explosion and then you have to tap X to not die as fast. Um, Fact of the matter is, it at least made for interesting visuals and stuff like that. Like the nuke from COD 4, the um in Black Ops when you they do that one level where they reveal that Mason has been brainwashed by Reznov. The In Black Ops 2 when Raul Menendez is like when Raul Menendez is like escaping and then you have that opportunity to either like kill him or capture him and uh any of those cinematic moments. The part where you get to cut your arm off and you get to watch the sex pervert Kevin Spacey fall into fire. That's like an A plus moment right there, like gold. All right, any game where you can kill Kevin Spacey is a plus. So um, the 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 story lacks those cinematic moments, and as a result, the stuff that's actually in it is just kind of boring. And because frankly, it is. Like Makarov barely shows up, despite the fact that they hype Makarov up to be like this, like oh, he's like the biggest threat that the world ever, and it's because he looks dangerously close to Ben Shapiro. Uh, excuse me. Uh, Makarov is not nearly as good as he was in the original trilogy. Um, and the part of the reason why Makarov is really good in the original trilogy is because he's such an unknown factor. They hype him up in the game, but they didn't hype him up outside the game, and the little hype they give him in the game is designed specifically to make you understand that this guy is completely fucked in the head. Again, the first mission where you actually get to like see this guy, uh, no Russian. He's literally shooting up an airport named after his best friend, and he says he's doing it in the name of the best friend who was named out, who the aforementioned airport was named after. So again, not a good guy, and in fact, completely out of his fucking mind. Like, in fact, if you read the newspaper stuff they show in the mission briefing, like there's tons of bombings and stuff like that he's responsible for. Makarov's not a good guy. He's in fact he's not supposed to be a cool villain, even though he kind of is. Like the thing about Makarov that I think I've said before, but probably didn't quite hit on in the original trilogy is that Makarov is basically the Joker without the sense of humor. Makarov wants everybody to burn and suffer because he's burned and suffered. So in that regard, you understand his like little motives and stuff like that. New Makarov, he so I have like an interpretation of what he is, but in truth, we don't know what exactly he's meant to be or what he's meant to represent. My interpretation is they're kind of building him up as being like this like nationalist type. Like he wants to take over Urzikstan for the real quote unquote real Russia. And so that to me says that okay, he's basically it's basically Vladimir Putin or something like that. Like that. In fact, like it's not even subtle. The name of Makarov's mercenary group is Coney Group, which definitely doesn't look anything like the real life Wagner PMC or anything like that. Definitely does not look like Wagner at all. Like I think I my interpretation, this is not fact, this is simply what I'm interpreting from what I see, is that they kind of are softcore trying to build anti Russian like propaganda, but they're also trying to dance around the fact that they're anti Russian propaganda because I think they want to sell the game in Russia. And historically the franchise hasn't had that good of luck being sold in Russia. So I feel that's my interpretation because it's like they did this half step where Vladimir Makarov is a apparently a proud Russian who wants to see the glory of Russia, but he is simultaneously like doing things that would hurt Russians. So that's kind of what it feels like as like a loose my best interpretation. I'm having it when you don't explain motives very well, when you don't explain why the Russians want Urzikstan back so bad, it becomes incredibly difficult for me to understand to to say, oh yes, definitively this is the motive. Um, Actually, I kind of spilt the beans a tiny bit. I think I finally understand why Russia's got a hard on for Urzikstan in this fictional universe. It's implied. I think it's implied. If you go to the war zone map of Urzikstan, there's a bunch of bunkers, and they're all Soviet bunkers. And it makes sense if you think that Urzikstan used to be part of the Soviet Union. So, and then obviously, during the fall of the Soviet Union, Urzikstan, by, like some stretch or whatever, got their independence. And therefore, now it makes sense as it makes some colloquial sense as like, oh, okay, they're playing on the idea that all Russians just want to reunite the entire Soviet Union again. um, So, but this is, again, all interpretation. I can't say any of this with 100% certainty because the game doesn't explicitly say this. They merely just kind of have these little breadcrumbs that I'm seeing, and I'm connecting the dots. So this may not be the intention. I just simply am making connections from what I can see. But so that's what I have to go into the assumption now, though, is that Makarov, he is just some weirdo nationalist who wants to see the Soviet Union reunited. Um, to be fair, that's not entirely off character for Makarov. The um, Inner Circle from the original trilogy, which they don't ever explicitly say this is something I think that only appears in Soap's diary, which you can't get unless if you get all the intel in Modern Warfare 3. But basically, I think it's implicitly implied that, or it in Soap's diary, it's basically it explains that the Inner Circle wants to bring back the Soviet Union, essentially. Uh, and I think that's kind of how what they were going for with Modern Warfare 3's story is Makarov wants to bring back the Soviet Union. It's probably what Barkov also wanted. General Barkov of Modern Warfare 3 wants to bring back the Soviet Union. So I don't know where this accent is going. Basically, it's just kind of this stupid fucking bullshit. They don't explain this, so you have to imply. You have to like it's only implied through breadcrumbs, and I hate that shit. Like it's not even like Dark Souls. Okay, Dark Souls does this where they don't explicitly explain the back lore. It's something you have to infer through context clues. Except the context clues are spelt out in item descriptions, which again, that's more solid than characters just acting like fucking idiots all the time. I What is any of this supposed to fucking mean? I don't know because they don't explain it to you. Anyway, Modern Warfare 3 story. The characters, it's been said that they are dull in this game. I agree with that. All of the characters are pretty dull in this game. As much as I disliked the Marvel-esque banter that Soap and Ghost had, at least it gave them character, and they for the most part got rid of that in this game. Um, the most you see of that whole witty banter that the two would have with each other is a scene where Soap or a level where Soap interrogates a woman by threatening her bank account, which has got to be the weirdest sentence I've said all year. Um, so the story is just kind of like dumb and dull. Like it's like, why did you even fucking bother? And it does retread story plot elements of Modern Warfare. It does retread story elements from Modern Warfare 2. It's just kind of like, oh, Hassan wants to frame who the hell did he want to frame? Nobody. He just wanted to use US missiles on US citizens, which wouldn't really have framed anybody. It would have just fucking made everybody angry at whoever launched the missiles, I guess. I I don't know. That part doesn't I'm confused by that part. Um Thank you, dog. Um Same goes for well, Modern Warfare 2, it's the same thing sort of though. It's like uh Makarov stole some missiles from Urzikstan, and he's going to use those Urzikstan missiles on Russia as a false flag operation. So everybody hates Russia. Well, everybody will hate Urzikstan, and it's like, couldn't you make things a little more different? I guess they couldn't because they're trying to rebuild Makarov's character, and Makarov's character from the original games was he's a manipulator. He he did a false flag operation on Zakhaev International. Got to do that again, guys. We can't make Makarov original. Um, can't do something different because then you can't call him Makarov, I guess, even though he doesn't. That's the other thing too. I know this is going to probably sound stupid to some people. I don't like Makarov's new design. The original design I like a lot because it's creepy. It's creepy. Makarov looks like a fucking creepy psychopath, and he's kind of scary, and I like that about the original Makarov. New Makarov, uh, again, he looks like Ben Shapiro. Uh, I'm not particularly scared of Ben Shapiro, but it's just not. So, uh, a taller Ben Shapiro, mind you. Ben Shapiro, I don't think he's like 6 feet tall, but I could be wrong. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of like, uh, where do you go with this? And again, the death of Soap was really fucking stupid. Um, I don't know if I've said this before, but I'll say it now. Um, I hate the majority of action movies, and, movies with guns in general. I hate because Hollywood thinks guns are like Hollywood thinks like guns are like super inaccurate. um, like if they're shooting from far off, the bad guys never hit their target. Either because they're shooting from the hip, which makes sense. No, that's not even true. The bad guys never hit their target ever, but the good guys always hit the target, even though they're shooting from the hip. They're not actually like aiming. And then on top of that, half the time the bad guys have to walk up. Like the amount of times, like watch any movie with a gun in it that's not like a realistic war movie, and count how many times a bad guy walks up to the hero with their gun, okay, pointed at them. Not even like, oh no, I came around the corner and my gun's holstered and the hero's right there. No, I mean, they have their gun unholstered. They're pointed at the. I'm reenacting this with my fingers, even though you can't see. They're pointed at the hero, and then they walk towards the hero. It's a like that fucking idiot who walked towards Kyle Rittenhouse. That fucking. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting that dumb fucker who walked up to him with his pistol. Okay, it's like that. It's like guns are long range projectile based weapons, guys. They literally are designed to shoot people from a distance. Okay? Where am I going with this? So, Makarov, I guess, shoots Soap and Price from a distance and then walks up to them. And instead of finishing them off from a position where they can't grab him, he gets up close with his gun, which gives Price and Soap ample time to. I can't even remember how exactly it plays out, but it turns into like an a fisticuffs things, and then Makarov gets the upper hand on Soap and fucking shoots him and kills him. It's a headshot. Definitely dead, guys. He's not coming back. this is not. This is not Graves. This is not Philip Graves, where he wasn't in that tank after all. This isn't Zakayev, who was throwing down a nuclear missile silo and survived long enough to apparently find zombie juice. this isn't this isn't what's another character who Alex who blew up a fucking gas factory around himself survived. No, guys. Soap is definitely fucking dead. He was shot in the head, and we definitely will not see him again. Um so anyway, Soap's dead. Um and then for some reason Makarov doesn't finish off Price right then and there. For some reason he backs up to retreat, and you have the opportunity to shoot him, and then they do a whole thing though where like a train passes between you two, and so you can't shoot him. Uh, but Makarov could have finished Price right there, but he didn't for some reason. I don't know. I guess he's more like the Joker than I thought. This is all part of his plan, guys. He wants Oh God, he wanted to get captured in that one mission. He wanted to get captured in that one mission. They did this stupid Jared Leto Joker thing. This guy, this is with them taking the whole Makarov is like the Joker thing way too fucking far. In this game, he literally is basically like the Joker from Dark Knight, where he's planned everything, and it's fucking stupid. Oh, he planned on getting captured, guys, and then he gives a speech about how everybody's a fucking monster. Oh my god, he is the Joker. Oh my god, I'm just realizing this now, guys. New Makarov is the fucking Joker, like literally the Joker. Not even my passe thing I was saying before, where he embodies the idea of chaos. No, he's just the fucking Joker, guys. Like, how fucking dumb is that? Or is it cool? I can't tell. All I know is the story's fucking stupid, and I don't want to keep thinking about it anymore, because I'm actually getting fucking, like, frustrated because of how fucking dumb it is. And I shouldn't, because it's fucking Call of Duty in the year 2024. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares, Hunter? Shut up. Um, so yeah, not a good story. It's really dumb and boring. God, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done. I'm fucking done talking about Call of Duty story. I'm like so over Call of Duty at this point. I'm actually ready to like finally retire. Yeah, I'm only holding out for my friend here, and then once this game is done, I'm out. I'm fucking gone. I'm never install, never buying another call. I shouldn't say install. I'll probably install an older Call of Duty game. I might buy one of the older ones, like the original Modern Warfare and all that, for my PC at one point. But I'm never buying another new Call of Duty ever again. I'm done. Activision can fucking suck an egg. Okay, they can suck an egg through a garden hose, please. Um, cause I'm just over it. I hate it. I hate this fucking franchise. The multi God, part of this animosity is from my grinding the multiplayer. Cause in my monkey brain, I'm like, okay, since I gotta play the multiplayer, I have to at least finish my grind session. And I did. I got Orion on every weapon now, officially. Every weapon has Orion. Now I just need to hit max level so I can get that really cool Shadow Company skin, which is probably my all-time favorite skin in a Call of Duty game ever, because not just because Shadow Company, and I am a Shadow Company simp, but because uh, the fact that you have to get max prestige to unlock it. You don't pay money for it or anything like that, unless if you're one of those morons who buys video game accounts that have skins in them. If you're one of those kind of fucking idiots, then yeah, maybe you'll buy the account for this skin, but not me. This is more like a badge of honor for me, and I cannot wait to finally grind it out and be done with it. I'm so close to. Um, but yeah, fuck Call of Duty. Fuck Bobby Kurdak or whatever the hell his name is. That fat retard. That fat retard who can't get a girlfriend because every time he meets a woman, they Google him and they find photoshopped images of him with devil horns. Yeah, fuck that guy. I hope he doesn't get a girlfriend. I hope he. I'm not gonna say anything horrible, but fuck him. Seriously, I just can't stand big corporate games anymore. They can all go in a fucking trash can. Um, I've never had like this much emotion in one of these videos before, but I don't care anymore. I God, I don't even like being negative like this in my videos. You gotta understand, I'm doing this against my will. There is literally a hitman standing next to me who will